Right, good morning everyone, how are we? So this is a debate video with Les Conn. So before you go anywhere, literally before you go anywhere, I'm very disappointed from the last time because not enough people subscribe to Les's channel. So go back, click the link below and go and subscribe to Les's channel and go and watch his videos. So Les has just put up another video discussing the ninja mask. So guys, go and do it, go and click, at least watch his video and subscribe if you like the way he's doing things. So that's excellent. So, okay, this is, we're in now a debate response with Les Conn, who does Chinese martial arts, and he actually is researching the history of sort of espionage in China and the more darker side of things. So please do go check Les's thingy out. The most important thing I need you to debate in this thread, first of all, is who's got the best accent, Les or myself. Northern English versus Les, I think, South African. Now, JK, my mate, is South African, South African, and they have got a cool accent, but Northern English, South African, which is the best accent? There we go. So, number one debate. Then we'll get on to history. Okie dokie. So, Les has just put up a new video debating the video I put up, which is excellent. Now, one of the best comments we had on the last video was somebody said, "Are me and Les the last two ninja YouTubers?" Shock horror. Well, Kawakami's actually he's doing it as well. You don't really hear from the other people. Do you remember the old days where everybody was getting involved in discussing? Then there was just me left on my own with a little candle going, "Ninjas? Anyone interested in ninjas?" And then Les has come out with a torch, a blazing torch, and says, "Let's talk about ninja masks." So superb. So let me get some basic stuff out of the way first. Is we have now all agreed that when we use the term ninja mask, there is no historical evidence for a ninja mask. We simply use that term because it is a common parlage that we all use. So basically we haven't, none of us has found a ninja mask in history, but we are just asking why are ninjas not masked up or appear not to be masked up, yet in China they are, etc, etc, or the infiltrators are. So let me get this bit sorted first. In the Book of Samurai series, so all my videos are done to support a book, the Book of Samurai series, this one, which is from 1670s-esque, in the 12 tools, it does say the Gantai Gotoku, the 5 virtues of the long cloth, the Tenagui cloth, basically. One of them is to tie over your head. Now, this is actually Shinobi Hokaburi. Now, Shinobi Hokaburi is actually that way around. It's a piece of cloth, a towel over your head, and you tie it here, or you tie it under your nose. And this is very much a Japanese thief idea. You see this. It's also a workman. Some people in the sun just tie it like that, and they get workmen. Old women do. But even when they're Japanese infiltrating, instead of the full mask, they automatically go to this, and it's even called shinobu or shinobi, to get in. It means infiltrators sort of guys. So the Japanese tend to mask that way, because don't forget, it comes forward, so it almost comes forward, so the face is in shadow. So that's the only historical reference I found with the use of the word shinobi, shinobu, the verb, because it is not, well, it's the action of infiltrating, even though it's a noun, I think, for the actual name of the thing. So just to be aware, so everybody's okay with that one. Right, second is, I just want to be clear on this to both Les and the other people. Many people across the years have said, "Anthony, why have you said like the ninjas don't dress in black and all that?" I've never said that, actually. I've always said that let's get rid of this iconic ninjas dress in black with a black mask with braces here and a headband here, and they've got shurikens and a straight sword. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. We have ample evidence that they did use black. We have ample evidence that they used chainmail. But this puddling it all together and putting that's a ninja and that's not a ninja is just not there in old Japan. You can't like pull some, if you went back in time to old Japan and pulled out someone dressed in black with a black hood on, how you'd expect a ninja to dress, they'd say, "Okay, well, what's that?" You know, they would say, "He's just a person in normal dress walking down the street with a mask on," which was perfectly acceptable. So dressing in black was acceptable, I think. Having a mask in the street was acceptable. It was tried to be outlawed at one point. So what I'm trying to say about ninjas don't wear black and they don't wear ninja masks is simply the fact that that is not an image that would say to people, that's a ninja, and you put someone in armor, that's a samurai. Whereas in the 80s, 90s, and early thousands, if you did that, people say ninja, samurai. And you're like, no, no. So just so everybody is well aware, I am not saying, what I'm saying is, forget the stereotypical ninja image. It's not, you don't wheel it out and people say ninja. You wheel it out and people would say, okay, maybe doing something suspicious or hiding their face for a reason, but they're just wearing normal Japanese clothes. Ninja suits are normal Japanese clothes. That's all it is. Some people wear black. Yeah. Now, the only two pictures we have in history of the ninja drawn by ninja, they're wearing a pinky red for a start. They're wearing a pinky red colour with, and I think a green top, and they have no hood. And the other picture, which is owned by Nakashima, is of four, and I've put these up before, is of four ninja, and they are called dog thieves, actually, from the Chinese dog thief, and they are wearing red kimono, and that go down to the knees, no pants, just wrapped over with nothing on their face. So ninja in all pictures, even though it's only two, painted by ninja, actually never wear black and do not wear hoods. But there's only two pictures. Okay, so I've got my notes here from Leslie's last video. So we've done that, we've done this. Okay, so Les talks about the SAS and the idea that basically they wear greens and sandy beret, and then when they go somewhere, they do cover up. Yep, totally understand, no problem there. And what we have is at least half of that in the Japanese. We have what's called yonin and inin. That doesn't mean all ninja are called yonin or inin. This is just two terms used by Fujibayashi Masatake in his 1676 version, and in Chikamatsu Shigenori's manuals, which start in around 1719. He writes throughout and adds to, and that's why the dates are never settled with Chikamatsu. And they both talk about inin and yonin, or in and yo. And what we have here is absolutely like the SAS, is they wear jackets that, and they've got a certain emblem on the back, and also we get this information from the Okayama, I'm going to say official clan records, and Okayama official clan records say that they're ninja igamono, I think they term them as, but they do use the word shinobi. Wear like a blue jacket with helmet, and they are exactly like that, Leslie. They walk around like the SAS. They literally got the greens on. Everyone can see who they are, and in the town. And when they go on a march with the army, everyone can see them. There's the igamono. And if you go to this is always throws people a bit. If you go to Edo Castle in the Edo period, you get igamono who are clearly identifiable on the gates around the castle, and they are guards by this point. However, half of the igamono are not from Iga or not connected to Iga families. They're actually connected to Wakayama families, but they're given the status of igamono because it allows them to be in the same area as the Lord without having to leave, because you don't want the guards to leave. So the Lord can walk in, everybody else gets out of his way, who is not of a certain elite level. But however, the igamono guards, so then they start electing people to igamono shinobi because of the socials, they can socially talk to the Lord, etc. More complex story, but my point being is SAS style stuff, Les, yeah, absolutely, people are dressed and you know who they are. They're igamono, they're no problem. Whether they disguise themselves, we'll go into. This is going to be a long video, I apologize, Les, I'm wasting your day. So Les is saying the issue is that the fact that we have this image in China of sort of masked figures and everything, where is it in Japan? It's definitely there in Japan, but it seems to be always associated with Nusabito. However, it's more, you'll actually see, it's a shame, I'm only on my iPad, but if I went through my editing on my computer, I could get all these images for you. But basically, there's an excellent scroll with an image of robbers, and they have the pointed hats that come down and the face is open, and this idea of side tying is absolutely about sort of disguised sort of, or hidden, and we don't know why they're not covering their faces, but for some reason in Japan, covering your head that way sort of is a little bit rough, robbery, you know, a little bit nasty sort of stuff. But we do have, as Les has shown in the images put up, pictures of actual masks like that, and we do have other evidence for masks being used. So basically, we do definitely have masks in Japan. They definitely mean infiltration, but we seem to have almost no reference to ninja using them, or zero reference to ninja using them. So Leslie's saying, well, logically, would they be using them? So let's go through the logical argument. Okay. Now, so first of all, the Innin Yonin stuff. So the Innin and Yonin is quite interesting. Sometimes, if you're a lord, you want your ninja to be observable. So you have Yonin. So this idea is you don't want people to know who they are. Actually, in Japan, people did want people to know who they were. They said, here are my ninja. They actually have ninja barracks. We have maps of old towns where it says ninja people live here, and Igamono live there, and we have it. And the reason for this is Chikamatsu Shigenori tells us in his 18th century documentation, he says you want people to know who they are, because then they know that you've got the cream of the crop looking after you. And especially you have like ninja looking after your, so when you go to, what's he called, Ogasawara Sakun, which is an amazing document, the Gunpo Jioshu, he's like, you need your Igamono there in the sort of the camp next to your lord, because they're the guys who are looking after him. For some reason, Igamono become bodyguard-esque, infiltrator, and also criminal capture agents. So you got a lot more. So this idea that the ninja are just the creeping in people, of course is not. There's a lot more to the ninja, but yes, they are. They are absolutely the sneaky beaky people. So but that means you have Innin. Now, Innin is hidden ninja. Now, we absolutely get these, and you're right, Les, nobody should know who they are. But what happens here is they stay in their own province, and then through coded messages, such as you'll send someone a letter, through messages, and it's actually done through multiple people. This is not that Genin, Tunin, Jonin. This is not that, guys. Do not mistake it with that absolute mistake that came in Japan. It is not that. But you will go through liaison officers, or you'll have messenger relay systems, which will get to your Sentimbure, orders for war, or secret messages to your Innin, your hidden agents, who nobody knows the identity of, and they're just in their house, chilling out, having a fag, eating spaghetti, and they're like, okay, I'm going to war. And off they go. And we have all this. It says, when you leave your house, you may never know if you're returning again. Because in those days, in the war days, in Japan, socially, nobody was in cities. You've got to get this in your head. Cities are a much smaller thing in warring style Japan. They are there, but most people are working the farms. They're out there, and samurai are the governors of farms. That's what samurai do. They absolutely govern farms. Samurai, ninjutsu is part of the samurai thingy. Your ninjas are out in their farms unless they are defending the castle area, or you're on a campaign and the ninjas are with you. And we actually have documentation that say ninjas don't do any duties in the day, they sleep in the day. So you'd have a ninja hut, and they have their own hut. It literally would be, there's the shinobi hut, and these guys open-faced walking around, and they don't do anything, but they go out at night and they patrol the area. The reason for this is nobody minds. You don't really know who they are beyond, you can just see a face. Imagine you've got 20,000 people on the battlefield, 4,000 people, whatever you want. You've got thousands of people. There's a hut of about 50 people, and you've got to remember their face. You know, there's no need, and they're on your side. There's no need to hide their faces. They wouldn't be walking around. There's no reprisal for it. There's nothing. There's no way that they can actually, there's not a problem. So it would be really weird for them to be walking around their own force with, you know, that's not an issue. So that's fine. We know they're there. So you have this idea in Japan of, sorry for the length of this video, guys. You have this idea in Japan that you have people who are openly, I'm ninja, I'm on the battlefield, I'm going to be going over to the enemy tonight, we'll relay backwards and forwards, teams go out, and there's lots of complex mechanics, which is very interesting. It'd be great to do a Chinese-Japanese interaction between how the two systems work. This no man's land that moves with the armies, the interaction between shinobi here is amazing. You got to look at that. But it's the pitch black of night. And if you capture someone, you're going to kill them. So you don't need a mask on. You're a dead man. So this is the other thing that everybody says is you should wear masks. So let's go with Les's. Logically, you'd think they would wear masks. So they're infiltrating a place you don't want to be recognised. But it's medieval times. It's very hard to recognise someone in the dark. Everyone has the same haircut. They've all got chon maggies on, shaved here, sort of up there, or maybe in the Sengoku period less. But basically, they all, not racist, look the same. But they do all look the same. They're sort of like a man in the dark with armour on or lighter clothes, possibly tied up, with a chon maggie hairstyle, who might have darkened his face. And that is like recognise him on a half moon. No, you know what I mean? There's not. But wearing a mask is actually detrimental, and they say this in the manuals. Now, they don't say don't wear a mask, because that would be great if we had that documentation, because then you'd know ninjas wore masks, because if you need to tell them not to, it means they are doing it. So we don't have a document that says don't wear masks, but we do have documents that say when you meet other people, no, let me start first. Yonin, so yo and in yin and yang, basically, for the Chinese, is when you're going through, you have to go in ninjutsu form as an open disguise. So first of all, you get the correct tassel, the tag, you've got the password, and you walk straight in as a member of the anime. And you're like, yeah, I'm this. And then you change to in. You don't take this off, you go down, you're moving through, and then you change again to yonin, which means I've got to come back out and pretend to be someone else. So if you're creeping through the dark, obviously not on hands and knees, but I mean, if you're going through the dark, it's better for you not to have a mask on, because when people say, what are you doing? You've still got your tags on, you've still got your passwords, and we know this, documentation says automatically go on the upbeat. If somebody approaches you when you're in a place you're not meant to be, ask them what they're doing there, start getting on the case, because you're wearing the correct tags, you've got the correct passwords. But the issue is there's more passwords as you go in. So you can say, I'm meant to be here, I'm definitely of this side, but you might be caught out saying you're in the wrong area, or get back. And that's where they do it. So if somebody's got a mask on, which automatically in Japanese and Chinese culture says is doing something wrong, you know what I mean, or hiding their identity, and you're walking through a restricted area, you're a dead man. Whereas if you've not got a mask on, and you can start talking and start asking and giving false names, or you've got ways out of it, and the ninjas talk about these ways out of it. So actually to wear a mask would seem correct. You'd be like, why are they not wearing masks? It's actually detrimental. And the other thing is, people have got this idea of Japanese castles. It's totally wrong. These Japanese castles are here, and they've got their outer wall and they're white. That's wrong. Because in the old days, back in the ninja days, you're actually made out of wooden palisades. If you go pre-Oda Nobunaga and you go before Oda Nobunaga, most of these things are just pieces of mounds of hills with wooden stakes on them. And you're going, it's over like a mile it might be, and you've got loads of time. If you're randomly moving and you've got a mask on, you've got a mile or a quarter of a mile to get out and climb fences through an army of, say, 7,000, and you've got a mask on. People are like, you're a dead man. What you need is no mask on. So you can be like, yeah, there's my tag, yeah, on, and get out quickly. Or people say, you're being suspicious, but you can get out of it. But if you've got a mask, this is why the smoke bomb is a ridiculous idea. In comics, they have the smoke bomb. You're like, imagine, you've got like, they're called marus in Japanese castle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 maru. So, and you've got them there. You're caught in the third maru, because you're all the way into near the enclosure. And it's like, smoke bomb. Psh. If you see Monty Python do the sort of like, keep running, you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't get out of it. You'd be a dead man. Ninjas even say if you're caught, just pray. Or the other one, Bansen Shukai, says you actually have something sewed in here, which is a false letter for someone. And you then say, you've caught me, but I've got this false letter. So there's no need to mask up, because they have these skills in place. And we know that they have these skills in place when they're met. So we know from all the documentation, guys, nothing is pointing to masks, nothing. But yes, so Les is correct. It is there in China and it is there in Japan, but it's in a different context. It's in a non-ninja context. So far, all the ninja contexts using both evidence and logic always point to no mask. I love the ninja mask. I wish it was true. But so far, nothing. Now you can debate the logic one, but I've been going through this for years. That doesn't make me right. I'm just saying, if you look at Japanese castles, you look at the infiltration system, you look at everything overall, and basically you wouldn't want a mask on. Your only way out of there is to talk your way out of it, or to make a deal and get out, which is what the ninjas say. They say make a deal, get out, then report back, then become a double agent, which we have Sun Tzu's 5 types of spies. So you're double agent it then, which is right. Okay, anyway, so let's go on. Leslie's talking about the upper level ninja is a Jonin. So Jonin actually is not in I get what you're saying, Les, but in this case it wouldn't be. The Jonin is basically an all-round excellent guy at linguistics. It's in the Bansen Shukai. I'll try and get page numbers for it. But basically they've got to dance well, they've got to write well, they've got to be well educated, they've got to have loyalty. So most of the thing is not about that. But what there is another part, so not that bit, Les, but there is another part which says the dog, the main, there's a dog infiltrator, an assistant dog, and they're the ones who I think if anybody would wear a mask, it's them. There's not really any reason for it at the moment, but if anyone, it'd be those two people, because ninja is a term that people ban about too quickly. Ninja, 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 and I'm sure Les has got this in Chinese. That you're not getting a normal spy who runs a hamburger shop. He's got a McDonald's franchise and he's going to be sat there and his job is to log down how many customers come in, where they're from, what people, what accents are being used. That's his job. He's a ninja. That's his job. But he's not going to be sat there dressed in a mask, is he? So we know absolutely most ninjas and most Chinese spies, however there's actually, what is there? Because in Japanese it's kanji, but the Chinese spy, you know, they are not wearing a mask because they're not doing that job. It would be ridiculous. You know what I mean? I'm in disguise. Why have you got a mask on? You know what I mean? I'm a bread seller. Why have you got a mask on? It just wouldn't work. So we're only talking, in the word ninja, a tiny branch of people that may or may not have used masks. And we're all debating, do they use masks? So let's go. Right, okay. So that's those bits. So the only context I can find for me, so is when would a ninja use a mask? Well, sorry. The only context we can find, and we do find it with the word shinobi, I've told people before it's there, but it's usually about infiltrating. We only find it when it's in an urbanized area. So it only seems to be urbanized area. So like a fortified manor house with like people living around it, inside a town, people are living around it. So on my last video, I said that in the Edo period, people needed to wrap their face up because their friends would, there's 5 family units. And the person who commented said, well, they're robbing their friends. Let me explain that. My fault for not being clear on that. Basically, in the Edo period, they lock everyone down. In old Japan, if one person does something, a certain amount of people get punished. It can be like either you get punished, then it's done, or you can set up a system where you punish all the families for one person's thing. So what you have is in the city now, you have lots of lockdown little areas with, say, a group of, say, let's just say it's a small town of 3,000 people. Now, when I went to school, there was 1,000, 2,000 people in my high school, and I knew everybody's name all the way through, you know what I mean? No, sorry, not name. I knew everybody in my year's name, so let's say 300 people, and maybe 400 people, but throughout the whole school, I knew everybody's faces, 100% their faces. So if you imagine a town of 3,000 people, and somebody from this ward is robbing somebody from that ward, you can say, I know exactly where that bastard lives. He lives in the carpenter's shop on the 4th ward. So in that situation, shinobi, not shinobi no mono, not military people on military campaigns, shinobi infiltrators, nusabito, tozoku, all them, yes, they would absolutely, because somebody's going to recognize you somewhere from getting across all the wards. So they've got gates at nights with gatekeepers and headmen for each ward, and you've got to get across all the rooftops, get in, nick the other person, and there's curfew. You've got to be back at a certain time. There is no way that people would be like, I'm just going out openly. You totally, in Japan, shinobi infiltration inside a town in Edo period would 100% be wearing some form of disguise, because if you're caught, there's only one punishment in Japan: death. That's it. And it's death by burning, death by crucifixion, death by beheading. They are totalitarian, murdering everyone. Right, okay, so another person, so these are not to Les, these to the other people. Another person said that why don't they just wear the amigasa? This is a great comment. Amigasa, sorry, is a straw hat. Why don't they just hide their head with that? That is, we know that from ninja documentation. It 100% tells us when you should and when you should not wear amigasa, and this is Natori Ryu. So let's go back. This book, guys, it's not in there, but this school, Book of Samurai School, it says Amigasa are used for when you're in open disguise and you're walking openly around people, but you're clocking information. But you never wear them when you infiltrate, because the rain, you hit them on stuff and the rain patters on it. And there's certain clothes you don't wear when you infiltrate, which I've got the documents for, because the patter sound. Okay, so it is, so you do not wear straw hats when you infiltrate. So in this case, no straw hat, probably a mask. Again, that's part of this debate. Right, okay, so, and the other one is, I just want to confirm from the last one, we showed the picture of the guy, the robber, and some people said, and I know Les started this in his, but other people said the robber is the person on the ground. It is not the person on the ground. We know this is not the case. And so somebody said the person on the ground has a mask on. They do not have a mask on. So I'm going to show you a video now. The person stood up with the mask on is absolutely the robber, with his sword, being aggressive to the traveller. The traveller has a haircut called a chonmage. Now, you've got to remember, this picture was taken post-Edo period, which means it's in the Meiji period. Now, in the Meiji period, Western hairstyles became the norm, or a lot more popular. And it's after the Japanese emperor actually had his hair cut to Western style, everyone changed from chonmage. It was like, I'm like the emperor. And they had lovely little Western haircuts, you know, little curls around and everything, or whatever they were doing in the 1890s. So basically, this man they've got here, they've probably just got an actor, a local guy, to put his hair in the old chonmage style because he's got long hair. But I'm going to show you a video here. Here it is. It's definitely hair. The man standing up is the robber. Right, guys, I'm on the website and I just wanted to show you. So, hold on. So, that is the robber's mask there. Now, you can actually see the knot it's tied in with katana. And I'm absolutely going to prove now that is not another mask. That is a chonmage. That is a Japanese hairstyle. As you can see, the hair is there waxed. You can see the top knot is there over. It's absolutely not another mask, guys. So there is only one masked person in this photograph, and that's him. He is the robber. That is the civilian carrying his equipment. His hat's been taken off and he is being robbed by the aggressive robber. A robber. Now, okay, so you've probably seen that. So there we go, guys. This is now a 30-minute video, so apologies for that. I'm so happy that Les has put some more energy into the ninja debate. Les, I hope that answers the questions. I get what you're saying. It seems that there should be a ninja mask somewhere, and all I can say is we definitely have shinobi wearing over hoods. We have that, we know that. So we know that the shinobi wear hoods over their face like this in some contexts. We know that there's ample documentation that they don't have masks on, and we also know logically Japanese castles, Japanese military setups would not want you to cover your face. Logically, how to get out of those places would not want you to cover your face. The only logical thing I can come to is these masks I use when you're in an area of peace and you're just robbing because you're no longer hired in the military, and ninja have no longer got military jobs. Imagine all the SAS lads out, you know, not got a job, can't get a job, bit booked up, bit pissed off after the war, you know what I mean? Let's go rob some bastards. I've met SAS lads, and I've met, like, everybody goes, heroes, veterans, they're all heroes. They're bastards. Ex-military lads literally get pissed, come on to girls a lot, probably turn a bit. The special forces lads, if they don't go in the military, end up as criminals. They've just got that edge of like, let's go. So just be aware of that. You know, not Les, I mean everybody. Be aware there's that, you know, there's that element of like, they're doing it, they're special forces because they're a bit that way inclined. So the idea of the ninja possibly moving on to becoming gangsters, bandits, all that sort of stuff is still there. And we actually have people themselves, the old quotes themselves from ancient Japan. I've got tons of them where people say, don't trust the ninja, they are bastards. You know what I mean? Especially Iga and Kokomono. Right, guys, sorry for the 30-minute video. Please go and subscribe to Les. I'm a bit disappointed by the amount of people that went over. Only like a handful of you went over to Les's video. Go to Les's video, find out what Les is saying, and enjoy. Okay, guys, see you later.